Canadian racers, make sure your next set of seatbelts and racing suit are from Pro1Safety.ca. Pro1 Racing and Safety products offer high-quality products made in the USA and now distributed in Canada. Pro1 Canada offers seatbelts, racing suits, helmets, and all sorts of safety accessories for drag racers. See for yourself why NHRA sportsmen world champions such as Bo Butner, Jeff Strickland, the Emmons brothers, Austin Williams, and many more rely on Pro1 Racing and Safety products. Join the winners. Choose Pro1. Buy high-quality American-made products from your Canadian wholesale distributor at Pro1Safety.ca.
Hello and welcome back to the Bracket Life Broadcast Canada's drag racing show. Brandon here, as always. Andrew Sturck sitting across. Andrew, how's it going today?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's this weird Monday, Tuesday feel, right? Tuesday that feels like a Monday after the long weekend up here. So,
Absolutely. You come home from the day, right? And then it's, start of your work week. And then all of a sudden we have the broadcast and, it's all weird. The whole thing goes weird. You're squirrely and you're not sure what to do next. But here we are. We're good. We're excited. Oh, you cutting in and out? You getting me still, Andrew?
I got you now.
Perfect. There we go. We went a little fuzzy there, but that's all good. Before we get started, we would like to thank Pro1Safety.ca. Move everything I got going on here. Pro1Safety.ca. It's backwards. I can mirror my screen. I'm not worried about doing it right now, but yeah, got the hat too. Fancy hat. It's all good.
Nice
I finally found it. I finally found it since we moved. Andrew's stuff, hiding somewhere, but that's all right.
Well, I know where it's at. We're currently shuffling a bunch of stuff in the house, and I can't get to that shelf at the moment, and that's on me. So
that's all good. That's all good. From left to right across Canada, you have your dealers all the way coast to coast. Travis Ringeth out west, Ontario, Matt and Jonathan DeVries, Matt's Auto Racing dealers there. Jerome Bellew in Quebec, Jason McNeil down east, taking care of that. They offer safety equipment, race belts, racing fire suits, helmets. They offer make the Pro1 helmets, but they offer helmets, Hans device, everything like that. You can get it all Pro1Safety.ca. Check them out. Support those. Support Canadian racers. Huge to help them. They're always involved heavily in all the events across Canada. So, no problem with a little Pro1.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. It's good looking stuff.
It is nice looking. If you're tuning in live, be sure to comment. Let us know where you are tuning in from and that you are here. I click my chat on over there. Here we go. We got a couple. We got Dozer there and Mike Doe hanging out. So as always. So yeah, let us know you're hanging out. Let us know you're here and happy to be here. Obviously, if you're watching the show on YouTube, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps us when you do. And if you're not on YouTube, you can just slide over on YouTube quick, subscribe to Bracket Life, and then come back to Facebook and watch it there. Whatever works.
Lots of options.
Exactly. Canadian Countdown, we'll dive right in. Andrew, Ontario Bracket Finals. You and I were not present. This is the first Bracket Finals that you have not been to. Second one for me.
Second, actually. I think I missed last year's as well, unfortunately.
Didn't you go to, because last year's the TMP?
Yeah, I didn't make that one. I think we were out in Montreal.
Yes, yeah, we were racing together.
Or no, not Montreal. Sorry, Luskville.
We were in Luskville last year. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. So second one I've missed. This one actually went to Drag Race 42. That was the reason that I missed the bracket finals this year. We went down there to the Halloween thing and had a lot of fun. What a awesome race that is down Drag Race 42. I've fallen in love down that track after going to the Ace event. So that was what drove me away from the event, unfortunately, because I couldn't say no to one last trip to West Salem, Ohio. So
absolutely. And it's not too far from you either, right?
No, it's a pretty easy drive from the border, from Buffalo. Like it's maybe 4 hours, 4.5 hours from Buffalo. I've found an IHOP truck stop, TA truck stop deal there. There's a Beacon to get a truck wash. Like it's 15 minutes from the racetrack. It's everything. I can't I just can't say no to this that trip down to that track. But was a great time there. So, but there was a huge event going on at St. Thomas, right?
Absolutely.
Fifth or sixth year.
Absolutely. We will dive into that. This one was actually, there was a pretty dominant result here, Andrew. This, I believe, the first year, and I'm not sure of the exact points for the team race. We'll focus on that. But like, I think this is the first year a single team just dominated the whole team event, right? In all, there was 5 classes to be contested for. So who else was all there? So we had Grand Bend, St. Thomas, Shannonville, RCSS, and then the ONDR threw in a team. And which teams had multiple? A couple teams had 2 teams.
I believe Grand Bend and St. Thomas both fielded 2. RCSS for sure fielded 2. Shannonville sent 1. ONDR sent 1. Normally there's an outlaw team there as well, which is essentially everyone who's not in a points program, which is the team I fielded a few years ago, a couple times. Unfortunately, there was no outlaw team this year due to some scheduling conflicts with the folks who normally make up the outlaw team. So I mean, most of them are, 2 teams of 25, so 50 odd racers go into it. And this is the first time I believe that one of the single entered teams was able to get the W for the event.
So we had 165 competitors between the multiple teams that were there. And then the ONDR, we'll spoil it a little bit. ONDR just came in and took over. Right. Is this the first year ONDR has put a team in as well?
I want to say third. I feel like the last year I ran a team at Grand Bend, which would be going back 3 team finals ago. I think that was their first year. They ran a team last year at Cayuga. So this is their third year fielding a team. And it's a bit unique in that they run the top ET mods with box, no box, and then foot brake. But I don't think they fielded any bike, sled, or junior competitors based on the nature of what the ONDR,
do, right?
Yeah, like the type of classes they have. So normally that's a hard obstacle to get past, because to be honest with you, that's 2 classes you're going to collect 0 points out of. At all, right? And so you have to put a lot of eggs in the 3 baskets, and clearly that worked well for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So 3 class champions they crowned for the team event. Mod ET Caden Wickie takes the win. Top ET Paul Henderson, and sportsman was Larry Blake. So 3 out of 5 categories, ONDR comes in and just takes the win in that. I
think sportsman was all ONDR as well. The winner,
I think so. Up. I'm pretty sure. And there was a couple, I think I read in top or mod that like at 4 cars, it was multiple ONDR as well.
Yep.
And like just groups of them all the way through kept turning on wind lights. So that's a really cool deal, right? My team, whenever I've done the bracket finals, has never won, or we haven't really had much success the couple times I went. But that'd be a blast. It would be a lot of fun to do that. And I'm sure those ONDR guys, they were all having a great time cheering everybody on. Other class winners from the team race: Brad Schmidt, bike and sled. I want to talk about Brad for a quick second. First year I put a Bracket Life team together. We went out, we had racers from Luskville, the Super Tour, Shannonville area, and then mixed them all together. Brad did not have a team. Brad, jumped on the Bracket Life team with us last minute to just compete. So it goes down. So I had no idea who Brad was. He was just on the list, right? And we go through. I lost early. I think I lost 3rd round there, and then so I went up, just sat in the stands and watched the round of 4 for all the different classes. And then so I hear Brad's name, and all right, I watch him go down. He turns the wind light on, got on the brakes a little too hard, wipes the bike out at the finish line. At the 8th mile, he wipes the bike out. Okay. Still gets the win. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like this dude, like, we're gaining some points for this guy, and he just wiped out. I don't know, hope he's all right and whatever. I had no idea who this guy was. I'm up there standing to watch the finals. Well, Brad Schmidt rolls back around in the final round there, and then puts the wind light on for Team Bracket Life there after his fall. So we loaded up the winner's circle there for Brad, and that was a great time. That was my first time meeting him. We've hung out a couple times since then when we come up to Grand Bend, but good for him. Good for him
It's an
traveling
awesome
around
story.
still. Yeah, still representing for whatever team that he does come on, but he was on Bracket Life first.
Yep, that's right.
So,
That's right. And now a two-time champion.
Two-time champion. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
He's doing all right. Junior Samantha Chatwood from Shannonville comes in, takes it over. Sam, we've talked about heading to Darlington for World Finals coming up soon. So
I loved the post by her dad too, right? There was a checkbox beside Shannonville points, the checkbox beside the Ontario bracket finals, right? And the World Championships box just being left open, right?
Yeah, coming up next. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it. Yeah. Win the track, win the province, the world's is next.
That's it.
I really love that. That was cool.
That's how it's going. That's how it's going. So good for all those racers. Really cool deal. I will get back to a bracket finals race eventually. When it does work out, I will put my a team back together for it. Maybe you and I can be on a team this time, Andrew.
I'm for that. I'm for that.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like with the employment coming from Bracket Life here, that would be appropriate, right?
Yeah, I think so. Other winners of the weekend: high roller race Friday night, Nathan Hoskin over Dustin Taylor, Mod ET Rob Holden over Glenn Tandy, Top ET Ryan Kelly, Bike Sled Todd Hope, Junior Austin Bermulin, and Junior Constellation Paige Roy. I believe most of those races were taking place Sunday. Saturday night they got to round 3 in the main event, or in their
high roller,
not
Saturday
in the
night
high
race.
roller kind of deal. And I saw some posts there, and they had some dew.
Yeah.
So it was wet. It was wet. So they called it off. I think end of round 3, there at St. Thomas, and then rolled through and carried on. So but a great weekend for everybody. It seems to be like I haven't heard any bad things about the trip to St. Thomas. So
sounded like it was great. All the teams had a great time. I mean, the camaraderie side of it, like it just had a real traditional bracket finals feel. I saw some of the videos of the team parties and the team food. I think Shannonville won the team food based on what I'd seen for the smoked this and barbecued that. Mind you, a pizza party on the other end is never bad in my books, regardless, right?
Yeah.
So
I think I'm not sure if Doug Irvine went. I think the Irvines were there. And
I seen Doug's barbecue pictures too.
Yeah, if Dougie's throwing in some stuff on the barbecue or in the smoker or whatever else they do, then it's hard to argue with it.
No, not at all. Right. So great event. Looking forward to as I get back to it like you. But next year it'll be interesting. ONDR gets an entire season of walking into tracks now all over Southern Ontario and just saying what's up.
It's funny, right? Because you think of ONDR, they're generally, for obvious reasons, they are nostalgia racers. They are older racers, older equipment, older style of racing, right? This is all old school stuff, and come in against very modern race cars, different racers, younger racers, and then still take it down. So that's cool, right? It's not something. Sometimes I think people can look down on that group a little bit for not being as skilled or talented necessarily on the racetrack, or can't compete in the same bracket racing arena that there is today.
Sometimes the nostalgia term, I think,
throws it off.
Creates, exactly, right? Because it seems to have that connotation to it versus other descriptions, right? But in this particular case, and in many cases, right, there's been a lot of great racers, who've won ONDR races and come back over the bracket scene and wiped the table, and they've certainly this year demonstrated their skill level for sure. Congratulations to them.
Absolutely. We'll stay in St. Thomas for the Turkey National results here. That was Thanksgiving weekend. They did get some racing in. Not everywhere in the province was rained out, or everywhere in this part of Canada. There was a little bit of racing going on. Friday Gambler winner Drew Buckner takes the win. Saturday rained out after round 3. Sunday results: Nostalgia Don Edmiston. Edmiston? Yeah.
Edmiston.
Sorry. There's a lot of words going on the computer there. Nostalgia Classic, Don takes the win there. Nostalgia Hot Rod, Steve Klein. Nostalgia Gas, Eric Marsh. And Nostalgia Comp, Dave Mantica. I like it.
I'll roll with that. Yep.
I'll roll with that. Mod Drew Buckner takes the double up. He won the Gamblers race Friday, as I just said. Takes the win Sunday. He's headed to Darlington as well for the
Yep.
World Finals. Sportsman Wayne Griffin, juniors Aaron Pinlow, and top PT Owen Henderson over former Top Alcohol Funny Car driver Paul Noakes.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
that's a
Paul's
cool
still
deal.
out there getting it done too.
I saw that. There was a post about that. I think this is the first time Paul was in the car this year.
Yeah.
I think Brooklyn posted that. Brooklyn, his daughter, posted about letting the old man drive the car for the last race of the year for them, and he rolls it through to the final.
Absolutely.
But those Henderson boys are a handful when they get in the final round.
They yes, there's no question about that. You get them into a final round. I'd hate to find out what their statistical record is, but I'm positive it's all bad for the other person.
Yeah, exactly. No. That's exactly what I was going to say. Take us
Yeah.
out west, Andrew.
So rolling to West Coast Outlaw Shootout, Mission Raceway. One of the tracks I really want to get to one day. Like, don't care if I get out there to race. Just I want to see it. So Pro Modifieds, Ryan Hayward picking up the win. And this is what I love about the track. They've got a lot of really cool classes going on. So Top Fuel Nitro Bike, Nate Gagnon picking up the W. Western Door Slammers, Brian Ritchie picking up the win. Outlaw 275. So there was 2 Outlaw 275 classes. I'm not sure if it was like a constellation style class, but I saw there was 2 winners on there. Parm Jawanda, Dan. How you want to roll with this one?
I want to say Dan Rodrigue.
Rodrigue, that works.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have my announcer's hat on tonight, clearly.
No, that's all right.
Not. Yeah. Limited Street, Max Nielsen. Real Street, Rob Monroe Sr. Outlaw Street, Corey Craig. Electronics box on Saturday. John Tavick. Electronics on Sunday. Martin Rachel. Non-electronic Saturday. Dave Jung. Non-electronics on Sunday. Jim Bemke. I think I got that one right. I apologize, as we always say. Who dedicated his win to Ron Farmer. So it was one of those Sunday deals we're running in, in the name of. So great to see Jim with the win. Junior Street, Tyler Smith. Junior Quick 8, Lincoln Shirk. Junior Dragster, I imagine be a main event. Natania Peterson. Forgive me on that one. That one threw me a little bit too.
You
okay.
That.
I'll roll with that. But yeah, congratulations to all the winners out in Shannonville. Great racing out there. Or Shannonville, sorry. Mission. Shannonville's next. Yeah. Having a moment here, getting ahead of myself. But a lot of neat stuff out there. If you ever pay attention to what happens out on the West Coast, they've got some great classes. The fact they have a nitro bike series is just one of the coolest things to me, right? Like, we to see nitro bikes is one thing. To have enough to run a series is just out of this world to me. So hope to get out there one of these days. We'll move on to Shannonville. That's where I was trying to go with this after it's all said and done. Thanksgiving weekend in Shannonville. Super Pro Johnny Golka picking up the W.
Mr. KD.
At the end of the year. Mr. KD transmission.
That's right. That's the guy.
Who's got some stuff for sale, I see too, right? Picking up on the internet there. He's got he's wheeling and dealing, trying to get ready for the 2024 season by the looks of it.
Absolutely. Looking for a 68 Camaro. He's got a nice 68 around for sale. KD's looking for one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's no better way to advertise it than to get on the Bracket Life show with a call out on 68 Camaro. Pro ET Kevin Cardinal picking up W. Not really a shock there. Kevin's had a great year.
Awesome year for Kev.
Absolutely. Nostalgia Kevin Malkins, Bike Sled Shootout, Cole
Iwaniski.
Okay. I'm glad.
I knew it was coming on that one. I had Cole on there. Yeah.
So Cole with the W in the Bike Sled Shootout. Street Mike Farmer, Trophy Dustin Baldwin. Juniors Carly Parkhurst and Samantha Chatwood. I kind of have it as they had co-winners here, so we're rolling with that.
I think, I'm not sure how it all worked out. I'm pretty sure. I believe Carly won the race, but I don't know. I don't know how it all worked. But we all win. We all had a great time.
If there's someone out there, we'll rely on the chat bleachers here to chime in. If there's anyone who can identify this one for us, we'll roll back to that. From here, we kind of mix in some points results because unfortunately we were home because the final Super Tour event got called, which sealed up the championships. So you can pick it up from here because this is your alley.
Absolutely. We talked so big, right, about 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, we're going racing. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're gonna hang out, and then the forecast was just junk. Simple as that. I don't know what else to say.
Three,
Forecast
3 inches
sucked.
of rain over like 36 hours
Yeah, yeah.
forecasted and delivered, I think, because I saw the
I
radar.
believe
It
so.
looked like it
We
came.
looked too. We looked Saturday morning, and it was wet here in Jasper, but it was looked much wetter near Montreal. So,
Yep.
unfortunate for us, but it is what it is. So that sealed the deal. The bracket Super Tour points will hit those first. Super Pro Brock Godmare, the Flying Frog, takes it down. Good for Brock. New enough to the Super Pro class and competing here. I believe they said 3 or 4 years. He's actually ran Super Pro for. So then, the biggest, and I believe it, in my opinion, the most competitive and toughest series to win right now in Ontario and Quebec is the Bracket Super Tour. So, good for Brock to come out on top of that, the overall champion. Phil Harvey, the dragster champion in second place there. Uh, Great year for Phil. Phil's been dominant the last at least 2 to maybe 3 years.
Yep.
Has been all over it. Was the overall champion last year. So
Yep.
the first racer to back the Super Tour. And, that's a cool deal. That's not very easy to do. I'm not sure
No.
where his second entry was in there. I would have to look back through, but I know Phil's a heavy hitter in both those entries, always doubled. So good for them for winning Super Pro. Mike Reynolds, we talked about it before. Mikey had it locked up, I don't want to say mid-July almost, is
But
what it felt like.
Labor Day in Luskville was not an event that he basically had to lose in round one, and somebody had to win both days to even just make it a race coming into this last one, and that didn't happen.
No. So Mike took that down. I believe it was about 4,000 points ahead of second place. So that's a ridiculous year for him, carried on and did a lot of back and forth Super Pro and Semi Pro throughout the end of the season, I guess. So good for Mike. Juniors, Leah Monahan. Leah, also, we've talked about Leah a bunch on here before being very successful. All the lady junior racers coming up, right? We talked about early Carly and Samantha. Now Leah here, right? It seems like this whole next generation of racers. I want to say, 70% of them are girls that are coming up. So that's, it's cool and good to see them doing very well. So good for Leah taking it down. I'm pretty sure she's won the Super Tour points before. I believe so, but I'm not 100% on that. But either way, good for them. Good for all those racers. They will do the banquet at the Luskville banquet in November. So for everybody, unfortunately, we didn't get the whole, Super Tour end of the year party, but the banquet will be fun.
That too. So excited!
It's a good time. Have you? You haven't?
I went to the finals last year.
But wasn't the same. I tell you this, ICAR was the best Canadian bracket finals deal with that. Like ICAR was a blast like that, but it'd be fun. It would have been a fun time, but next year there, Eric Monahan chimes in. Leah's first time winning the Super Tour points. So good for her on that. We'll jump over to
Luke, before we jump on, I was gonna say Luke jumped in there and said it's third year for Brock.
Yes, did confirm that.
And we'll say, like, you talk about a back half year, right? Where in the sense Brock was in the running, and then it was that back half of the year where just everything comes together. Big win at Labor Day. That was the first win I think he knocked off on the Super Tour,
and his first Super Pro win. That Labor Day win was his first Super Pro win in general. That was a Super Tour win. That then catapulted him into first place in the points, and then he rode that off into the sunset, right?
Absolutely. So you look back. I mean, that was a big weekend. We look at Labor Day. When you look at the points champions here and who knocked off wins on that Saturday and Sunday, or just went deep rounds. I mean, I don't think Phil parked it in the winner's circle that weekend, but was certainly in the mix. Late rounds.
I know he was
each
deep.
day. Yeah. And Leah, she picked up the win on Sunday, I think, right? Sunday night of Sunday portion. Yeah. So and Mike, I'm positive Mike was in the winner's circle one of those 2 days, right?
It would only make sense if he
It would
was,
absolutely.
right?
So, fun to see that. Like, I mean, Mike's was a runaway. Leah's was certainly a last minute deal. Phil's was a heated battle. Brock's was a heated battle. Like, I mean, it was an exciting retrospectively end to the year when you look back at Labor Day and look at it and go, that was the end. But I mean, those winners, not all of them were points leaders at the point that Sunday night rolled around and or Saturday night rolled around. So fun retrospective look back on and see how that all shaped out. But great season for everyone there.
And it's the things like that I think really make the Bracket Super Tour what it is and make it so competitive and make it, the series to run in if you can, geographically, obviously, it'd be hard for the Alberta racers to join in, right? I wish we could with all that and have it, but if there is a chance to join a series like that for 5 events, it is great racing,
For sure.
and the championship chase is a lot of fun to have. Lustville Dragway Points champions, they were confirmed here with the cancellation as well. Landon Urslack takes the win. Young Lando, junior racer, former junior racer, coming in, has been on fire for a while, right? Comes out of it, hot and heavy and ready to go. And, his hard work now pays off. So good for him getting the championship. Semi-pro Stephen Valentine, repeat winner, I believe. I'm not sure the number of times Stephen Valentine has won, but always whenever you go to Lustville, always, a great competitor. He was close in the semi-pro points for the Super Tour as well. So good for him. And, just continues to show why he is I want to say the best semi-pro racer there is in Lustville. Mike Reynolds does very well, but not there as much, where Stephen Valentine there every weekend showing out in their juniors. Julia Malcolm takes it down for her first championship. So good for her. Good for Julia. Another, female junior racer that we're talking about, dominating throughout the year.
Yeah. Third generation racer to boot, which is kind of always neat. It's neat to say these type of things. We're talking about third and fourth generation, champions now, right? And winners. So, and racers, that's a really neat deal. So congrats to all the winners at Lustville. So we'll jump into the NHRA side of things a little bit. It's always fun to see Canadians out there doing big things on the NHRA tour. NHRA St. Louis was one of the stops on the countdown, pro modified. Took me a hot minute to get this one figured out. So we've been following Justin Bond in his chase for the World Championship in the Pro Modified Tour, essentially chasing his teammate Thorpe. And unfortunately for Justin, a round one exit, it's going to make it a tough hill to climb for him at the finals. I think the finals are in Vegas. I can't remember. They used to go to Houston, but I don't think they go to Houston anymore, Pro Mods. But for one race, Jordan Lasik is what I'm rolling with here on the final name. Comes in under the Bond team, running the Bahrain 1 colors. So basically Justin's other car. It's awesome to have that, my other pro mod type mentality. Picking up the win. Running, I can't remember what qualified spot he rolled out of, but essentially it was the other power plant that Justin has. So I think you have a Pro Charger set up, and I think it's a screw setup is what he's running right now. So I believe Jordan was in the Pro Charger car. So kudos to them. Apparently both combos, both capable, but Jordan picking up the W. Jordan out of BC. I don't have the particulars. I'm sure the Mission folks and the Western folks can fill us in a little bit on that. I didn't pick up on this story till kind of late in the whole telling of it, to be quite honest, but it was kind of cool to see the Canadian content at St. Louis. NHRA Lucas Oil. So we're going to go to Division 7. Sean Cowie. So Sean's, I believe, maxed out on the year at this moment on his World Championship bid. It's down to Julie Natas, I think Tony Stewart. I don't think they've either one of them maxed out yet. But Sean is doing his best to make sure all the points on the table are just being taken off the table so that no one else from behind can pick up. He picked up a win on the Division 7 tour at Famoso Raceway over Chris Demke. Number one qualifier, Sean was at 5:20, 276. Basically a 10th and a half on third place where Chris Demke qualified. So, I mean, I don't know if Sean and them have found something over the last part of the latter half of the year that, you wish you had to start, but his 39th Lucas Oil win, 4th of this season. So, I mean, been a great year on the top end, just points wise, been a hard one to come by, but great win for him. Lucas Oil standing. So in the last episode, we kind of highlighted various points races going on in the Lucas Oil NHRA series. Division 1 Super Gas was one that we had our eyes on because we had two Canadians vying for the number 1 spot in Division 1. And what a logjam this has turned into. So I believe at this point it's locked up. Division 1 has ran their final event at Virginia. There's only a couple Lucas Oil events left. They're mostly all West Coast events at this point for the final, rush to the championship. But Rick Stroud went into the final few events here with a points lead. He is tied at 288 points in second. I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is, but I'm sure NHRA has done this for a reason. Rich Price is in first at 288. Rick Stroud second at 288. Tom Stalba Jr. third at 288. Iggy Boychesko fourth at 287. Jason Kenny, former Eastern Ontario resident, fifth at 277. Charlie Kanopik at 267. Ken Bowers at 267. Jeff Fisher at 265. Ninth place, I believe, 3.5 rounds. Ted Lie at 255, and then Tom Goldman 246. Just a log jam. If there's anyone left with claims, you've got to think they're probably getting into vehicles to drive somewhere where there's a points race going on from the divisional level. But I believe that puts Richard into a spot of finishing at least top 3 by the looks of it, depending on what some of the other ones have here. But if that's where it finishes out, congratulations to them, because that is a who's who of names when you go 1 to 10 there for super gas racers. And boy, what a, if that's a season, what a great season, right?
Yeah.
Be able to run around with the number 12 next year.
And it was, Rick's been doing this for a long time, right? Rick Stroud, Charlie Kanopik, we've talked to them multiple times on here. Awesome racers. Charlie, former Division 1 champion. So then Rick and Charlie always been together doing this. So really cool to now see both of them in the top 10 and finish there. And Rick with a stellar year, and great opportunity, obviously being tied for first, coming second, however that all worked out. But good for them. It's really cool to follow.
For sure.
Absolutely. So we have some more NHRA news. This is our final kind of NHRA stuff we have for tonight. This was a big one, not really bracket racing related, but Peyton Racing and Spencer Hyde threw this out there. This is a big one worth talking about here for sure. Big announcement heading to Pomona, California for the NHRA World Finals with Elite Motorsports partnership for that. So really cool. Obviously, Peyton Racing, the Peyton family, been doing the Top Fuel stuff from out of Southern Ontario area for
Paris, Ontario.
30 years, right? About 30 years now, Andrew.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Yep.
So Todd and Tony really running that whole show right now. So good for them and making the different deals. They are headed to Vegas coming up at the end of the month, and to Vegas for the NHRA race there. And then Spencer are going to show up for Pomona deal. And then, running with Elite is a pretty big deal. Really cool for them. So that's exciting. Obviously very, neat here being involved with Ogilvy's. Mike and Vic now getting more involved with the Peyton team and having it. So I believe Mike's going to roll out with them to Vegas and to Pomona and be a part of that deal. So that's going to be really exciting and really cool. So, it's neat to kind of be a little more invested in it, in
Absolutely.
that way, so that's cool. Good for them. That'll be really, I'm excited to see what happens. It'd be really neat if the Peyton team can really start making it or making a run in this,
Yeah.
They have a very competitive car and have really started to figure out the tune-up and whatnot on there. So that's going to be cool to watch.
Absolutely. No, that's fun. And to see Elite evolved, I mean, I think that's their first foray into doing anything in the fuel ranks, right?
Yeah.
They've obviously been in Pro Stock, Mountain Motor Pro Stock, Pro Modified, had success in all 3 fronts, clearly in Pro Stock, right? So to see that the partnership that's come through there, to watch Spencer team up with them, and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I mean, Spencer's winning of the World Series of Pro Mod certainly put him
on the map,
on the world map, right? Like, and I know made some connections within the world for him there, and it's awesome to see these type things coming together for them. and even better to see it in a Canadian car, right? To boot,
Yeah.
that
For
that has
sure.
an extra special aspect to it. So we'll certainly be seeing how that works out. And as I said, they're a very good team, and when you get to Pomona, it's one of those. It's funny. The World Finals is one of those races where just magical things kind of happen, right? Been a lot of great, championship runs there. There's been a lot of great stories come out of there, just singular wins. Certainly has a lot of makings for something special if everything comes together for them at that event. So we'll be excited to watch that as it gets into November, which is a scary statement to say that we're that close to November.
You are correct. You are correct. That'll bring us into upcoming events. So there's not much left, Andrew. As you said, we are nearing that the dreaded months. It's dark here very early now.
Yep.
Which is not very fun. But upcoming this weekend, coming up, Naperville Dragway has posted an event. One of their, the bracket series events, guaranteed $3,000 to win there, and then progressive payout as it goes up with the car count. So that'll be cool. I plan on going there now since last weekend was obviously canceled. So that's my plan to go. Coming up, I believe you guys are headed to TMP, or
I think we're going to go to RCSS's final race at Cayuga. They've got bonus payouts on the Saturday. Same type of thing. It's a progressive, but if they're going to slap $1,000 on top of Mod, on top of Super Pro, and on top of Quick Sportsman, which is their quick ET class.
Yep.
So potential to be a couple thousand to win in Super Pro and a couple thousand to win in Quick Sportsman, and modified, I think it's 500 in foot brake. Juniors have a bonus payout with some Wallies. So throw it together, 2.5 hours from my house. I think we're going to go there. We're going to do some trick or treating. They have that on the Saturday night. I'm not sure who's more excited for that, me or Charlotte.
Yeah.
Probably Charlotte, but we'll see how that goes. So that's where we're going to try to finish off our season.
Absolutely. And then the WDRA World Finals coming up as well. We've talked about, we will keep you updated on all of that news as it does come. And this one here, Luke Godmare, kind of, he hinted at it a little bit. He got some inside info. Let me share some screen here. Oh, hold on. What is going on?
This is the live production aspect of the show, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
This was pre-recorded. None of this happens. No one sees anything. It's just a perfect transition, right? But
yeah, exactly. It all just flows right there. Here we go. Let's see if we can make it full screen. The Bracket Life Brand Winter Rumble Practice Street Challenge 2nd Annual coming up February 3rd, 2024. So this is the event that Rachel and I put on last year. It will be in Belleville once again, Fairfield Inn and Suites, just off 401. Easy to get to, central location between Ottawa, Toronto, wherever else you're coming from. It's probably in the middle of it. So that's what I'm going to go with for it. So this year we are switching it up a little bit. Not really switching up because this is what we ended up doing last year. 2 races. We have the 2,000 to win warm-up race and the $5,000 to win main event. This year we will have 2 trees going on for the first and second round. So we'll do that. That'll speed up the process for the first 2. After that, round 3 and on, we will stick to 1 tree. The other tree will then be used for the gamblers races. We'll run that in, as it's going on. 16 entries, $20 a shot, win $250. Pay for your entry for the whole event, to triple enter both races. Bottom ball brawl will be back, 500 to win, guaranteed for that. 32 entries. That was a blast last year.
That was a lot.
We'll do it a little earlier this year. I'm not exactly sure when, probably between the 2 events, but that was a blast doing it. It was a good way to end the night last year for everybody. So that was good. You can triple enter both of these races, the warm up and the main event, for $250. So, same deal as last year. We've just amalgamated the money for the warm up and what was the finale. So now we just have the 2. So be done in a decent time. And who knows what else can happen there. But it was fun. We got a little visitor hanging out with Andrew.
We got a special guest.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlotte.
Got Miss Charlotte hanging out for a second. So that's nice, right? We don't always get that. Last week we had my daughter on. This week we have Andrew's daughter on, right? So that's fun.
There you go.
Right?
It's family month, right?
It's a real family show. But everybody that's planning your winter already, unfortunately, it's a shame that we have to plan these things. But February 3rd, same weekend as last year, the first weekend in February, we will be doing the Winter Rumble. So we'll talk about that more as it goes on. We'll keep posting about it. We'll add more prizes, add more incentives, add more sponsors, things like that, as we always do. So going forward, I hope to see everybody there. It'll be a lot of fun, as it was last year. Talk to some people around. We all had a blast. I had a great time. I've heard lots of good things from it. So I hope everybody gets to come back and have some more fun.
Yeah, it was a real blast. I enjoyed it immensely. I think a lot of people did too. So it's certainly looking forward to this. Close to my birthday to boot, so that's even better.
Exactly. We talked a little bit, Andrew, about having a main discussion, right? Obviously, the Canadian Countdown did run long, but it's fun talking about all this different stuff and everything else. We talked about doing a little review of the season. For us, I think we could probably save that for another episode, because we're going to do, I think in 2 weeks, we'll do a recap of our seasons for this year, and we'll look at some options for next year too. Right?
I think so. That'd be a good one to get into, because I don't want to. Sorry, extra folks voices coming in.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a good episode here. I think one of the great discussions we could get from this is, we talked a lot about setting goals for your season, and at the end of the day, when you set goals, you need to be able to sit down and evaluate. How did you achieve on them? Be able to do something else for the next year, and I think it'd be really worth a good discussion on a longer kind of runway than what we got right here, to kind of go through that. Break down our own seasons, because we talked about what kind of goals we had personally on that broadcast, and then evaluate them from there. And I think it'd be exciting. They'll give me a little more time to get some more statistics, because a couple of the ones I have kind of boggled my mind when I started to type them in here, like the 6,600 miles that I've driven this summer for races. And that was not something I realized until I found the odometer on the truck. But, I really think that would be a good conversation for the next episode, that would just be so much fun to go through and, put a grade to, because in a higher level conversation and retrospect, it's, you go from feeling like, how was that last race? Well, that was a D- race. And then when you look at your whole season, like maybe it was more of a B+ season, right?
Yeah.
You kind of always wear the last race on your sleeve as how you feel. And that necessarily isn't a good way to look at things.
Exactly. And then by that time, my season will for sure be wrapped up, and then we can do a full recap on it and go over everything. So that's about it for this week. Great conversation, great going through all the Ontario bracket final stuff. In 2 weeks, the World Finals will be done, correct? Yeah.
Yep. I believe
WDRA World Finals will be done. So we'll get to recap that. See what happens. Be fun.
Yeah, and I know. So coming up on the last weekend of Halloween, there's the NHRA World Finals. Las Vegas Finals. Summit Super Series NHRA Finals for the bracket racers. So Mike Konopacki heading to Vegas to run for the Bike World Championship down there. Be really exciting to be able to do that. I'm hoping we can get him onto the show afterwards, after we see how he does, regardless of win, run, up, or draw, because Mike's had a great season and a great career in general, and I would love to speak to him about that experience, because that's got to be just such a trip.
Yeah, Mike's had a bunch of great seasons for sure, and I know that Adam was watching earlier, his son. So if Adam's still hanging out, you can let your dad know that we look forward to talking with him. Hopefully, if he'll come on to one of these broadcasts with us. So, all right, guys, I think that's about it for this week. We'll roll through. Remember, support, pro1safety.ca. Thank you for them supporting the show. Check out all the Bracket Life stuff. Let me throw it up. It's been a while since I've thrown the QR code up here. We'll throw this one up.
Good call. Christmas is coming up. I hate to say it like that, but
it is a shame to say that, Andrew. But
I know.
You got it.
Right?
So hit that QR code. Get your bracket. Check out the Bracket Life brand store. We have lots of stuff in stock here. We'll get it shipped out to you. Whatever you need, or if we're to meet up with you somewhere, we can have it there for you as well. So we will talk to you guys all soon. Andrew, thank you again for always doing this. It's always a lot of fun.
Look forward to it.
Right, exactly. And thank you to everybody else that was checking out on Facebook and YouTube. We appreciate you guys hanging around and throwing in all the comments, and look forward to talking to you again in 2 weeks.
We'll see you then.
Canadian racers, make sure your next set of seatbelts and racing suit are from Pro1Safety.ca. Pro1 Racing and Safety Products offer high-quality products made in the USA and now distributed in Canada. Pro1 Canada offers seatbelts, racing suits, helmets, and all sorts of safety accessories for drag racers. See for yourself why NHRA sportsmen world champions such as Bo Butner, Jeff Strickland, the Emmons brothers, Austin Williams, and many more rely on Pro1 Racing and Safety Products. Join the winners. Choose Pro1. Buy high-quality American-made products from your Canadian wholesale distributor at Pro1Safety.ca.